Title: Evolution in Animation: How Characters Adapt Over Time. Animated characters are always changing. One minute they're all rubbery limbs and floppy movements, and the next they're covered in hyper-realistic fur you could almost reach out and touch. But this evolution isn't random. It's a story of survival, a relentless adaptation to new technologies and shifting cultural tastes. It's where art and science collide, forcing the characters we love to transform again and again. So how did a simple line drawing of a cat evolve into a photorealistic talking lion? And what does that journey tell us about our own changing world? Today, we're pulling back the curtain to uncover the hidden forces that have shaped and reshaped animation, from the very first drawings to the latest digital wizardry. Section 1. The Birth of Personality, Rubber Hose, and the Silent Era. Before there was color, before there was sound, there was movement. The earliest days of animation in the early 1900s were a wild west of artistic experimentation. Pioneers like Felix the Cat and Gertie the Dinosaur were brought to life with a style that became known as rubber hose animation. Their limbs would bend and stretch like spaghetti, completely untethered by the rigid laws of anatomy. And this wasn't because the animators were bad at drawing. It was a brilliant solution. They quickly realized that by treating characters as simple, malleable shapes, they could create fluid, expressive motion without the painstaking effort of realistic drawing. This whole era was built on a core idea from the 12 principles of animation: squash and stretch. This principle gives a sense of weight and flexibility to drawn objects, and early animators used it to the extreme. It created a bouncy, energetic world that was just captivating. A character's entire body could squash into a pancake and then stretch out like a rubber band, all to convey a simple emotion or action. Even without dialogue, these simple, bold designs communicated personality in a way anyone could understand. Icons like Mickey Mouse famously began as a collection of simple circles, a design choice that made him easy to turn and move, letting his personality shine through pure motion. This focus on simple shapes laid the groundwork for all character animation to come, proving you don't need complexity to create a character that an audience will connect with. Section 2. The Golden Age: Sound, Color, and Soul. The arrival of sound in the late 1920s was the first great cataclysm in the world of animation. Suddenly, characters didn't just move, they spoke, sang, and had a voice. Walt Disney's 1928 masterpiece, Steamboat Willie, was nothing short of a revolution. The perfect synchronization of sound and action turned Mickey Mouse from a silent figure to a superstar. This one innovation kickstarted a massive shift in character design. Now characters needed mouths that could form words and bodies that could move in rhythm with music and sound effects. The loose, rubbery style of the silent era began to tighten up, giving way to more structured, expressive designs. Then came the next wave: Technicolor and the multiplane camera. Color brought an emotional depth that black and white simply couldn't match. The multiplane camera, a device that allowed animators to shoot through several layers of artwork, created a sense of real-world depth, making animated worlds feel vast and immersive. These tools culminated in Disney's 1937 feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This film was a monumental leap. The seven dwarfs weren't just copies of each other. Each was designed with a distinct personality, posture, and expression, a feat achieved by artists like Albert Herder, whose sketches gave them their individuality. To create stunningly realistic human movement for Snow White, animators studied live-action reference footage. While the rotoscoping technique pioneered by Max Fleischer involved directly tracing such footage, many Disney artists used it as a guide to inform their drawings, ensuring the animation felt lifelike but still handcrafted. This era, known as the Golden Age of animation, wasn't just a Disney show. Over at Warner Brothers, animators like Tex Avery and Chuck Jones were creating characters like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. They leaned into a frantic, gag-driven style, proving there was more than one way to create an icon. Whether it was the heartfelt sincerity of a Disney princess or the chaotic energy of a Looney Tune, the Golden Age established that the most important technology of all was a character with a soul. Section 4. The Xerography Revolution: A New Look for a New Era.
By the 1960s, the lush, painterly look of the Golden Age had become incredibly expensive to produce. Every single frame had to be painstakingly hand-inked and painted on a transparent cell. The industry desperately needed a way to make animation faster and cheaper, and the solution came from a very unlikely place: the office podium. The xerography process changed the game entirely. While Disney had experimented with it before, 101 Dalmatians in 1961 was the first feature film to be completely defined by this process. This technology allowed animators to transfer their drawings directly onto cells, which eliminated the need for a team of inkers to trace every single line by hand. This wasn't just a behind-the-scenes tweak. It had a dramatic and immediate impact on how characters looked. The soft, elegant lines of films like Sleeping Beauty were replaced by a bolder, sketchier, and more graphic aesthetic. For the first time, you could see the animator's raw pencil lines in the final product, giving the characters a whole new kind of energy and immediacy. This technological shift perfectly married the cultural changes of the 60s. The art world was embracing modernism, and this new graphic style felt fresh and contemporary. It allowed for a different kind of character design, one that was less about polished realism and more about stylistic expression. While some, including Walt Disney himself, initially missed the refined quality of the hand-inked line, xerography basically saved the studio from financial trouble and defined the look of an entire generation of animated classics, from The Jungle Book to The Aristocrats. It just goes to show that sometimes a limitation can spark a whole new style. Section 5. The Modern Mix. The best of all worlds. For a while, it seemed like CGI would be the final word in animation, making 2D obsolete. But today's animation landscape is more diverse and exciting than ever. Instead of a replacement, CGI has become another powerful tool in the animator's toolkit. The philosophy now isn't 2D versus 3D, but about using the best of both worlds. Perhaps no film embodies this better than Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It masterfully blends the depth of 3D CGI with the stylistic energy of 2D comic book art. The film uses a technique called variable frame rate animation, animating some characters on twos to feel snappy and cartoonish, while others move with fluid realism on ones. It layers hand-drawn effects over 3D models and isn't afraid to break the rules to create a visual experience that is utterly unique. This hybrid approach is becoming a dominant trend as studios realize audiences are hungry for new and innovative visual styles. At the same time, cultural influences are shaping character design more than ever. The global success of Japanese anime, with its distinct visual language, has had a massive impact on Western animation. Franchises like Pokémon show how character design can be tailored to cross-cultural boundaries. And now, the rise of AI and real-time rendering engines like Unreal Engine is once again accelerating workflows and opening up new creative possibilities, from hyper-personalized avatars to interactive VR experiences. Conclusion and CTA. From the earliest looping images to the immersive virtual worlds of today, the evolution of animated characters is a story of constant innovation. Each technological leap, sound, color, xerography, CGI, presented a choice: adapt or be forgotten. But it's also a story about artistry and how generations of creators use these new tools to tell more compelling stories and create characters that resonate with us. The animation of the future will likely be a fusion of styles and technologies we can barely imagine. But one thing will always remain the same. At the heart of it all will be a character that makes us feel something. What is your favorite era of animation? The Golden Age classics, the 90s Renaissance, or the hybrid styles of today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through animation history, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the art of storytelling.